Hello, welcome to our home. I'm Jeff Scherer, the architect and the owner with my wife Lee. And today we'd like to simply show you some of the features that we designed into the house to accommodate the weather here in the Yucatan. As you know, the weather in the Yucatan varies quite a bit from the rainy season to the winter to the summer. So what you're going to see today are some of the features that allow you to enjoy the home in whatever weather conditions there are. One of the first things we did was to raise the floor 30 centimeters in order to prevent any water coming into the house during the rainy season from the street. The second feature that we introduced to the house allows the air to flow through the lot and up through the rooms. So as you know, hot air rises, and this is a technique I learned when I took a course in Australia on hot weather design. What happens is you use this crank cord and you can open the windows up above, and those windows then allow the warm air to naturally rise up and create a draft and allow for a cooler air to stay pooled on the lower area. Another important consideration in the Yucatan is to make sure that the airflow through the room not only is for the comfort of the humans, but also for the ventilation of anything you might want to store in the building. So for example, in my library here, I designed the shelving to be flexible. You can move it any direction, in any position. The shelving is also wider than a normal shelf, and in addition, each of the shelves are open, they're ventilated. So as you lift open the windows above, the air moves up through the books and makes sure that they're ventilated so that you don't have any problems with mold growing on the books. In the kitchen and dining, we also have the operable windows. And I also wanted to mention that these windows not only provide ventilation, but they provide all the illumination you need during the day. So we hardly ever have the lighting on in the front of the house because of these operable windows. And you can see in the kitchen, we laid it out in a simple way so that everything is organized, and all of the storage is in an adjacent room. Oh, one of the really wonderful things about living in the Yucatan is the weather. We like to sit in this porch, and one of the things that I discovered when I did my study tour in Australia was a system called Centaur, which is a rolling screen that allows you to completely open up the screen and have the room open to the air in the season when that's appropriate, or you can close it, and when it's closed you're totally protected from any insects, but it feels like you're outside. It's a very fine mesh. It lets most of the air move through and most of the light. In addition to the horizontal screen doors that we talked about earlier, we installed from Spain a system of automatic rain screens. These rain screens can be operated individually. They can be operated up or down in any position, or they can be lowered all at the same time and raised all at the same time. As you'll see in a minute, we've separated most of the buildings by a lot of space to enable the natural breezes to flow between each of the buildings and through each of the buildings. When we were studying where to put the buildings, we wanted to take advantage of the north-south axis of this site, and we wanted each building to operate independently on its own to have pure ventilation and not be encumbered by being too close to another building. In addition, on the roof we have 16 solar panels. There's an inverter in the mechanical room here that controls that. That inverter is from Germany. We also have the water control systems. We have the UV filters. We have the soft water treatment of the water, and we have the expansion tank. One of the things that we're really concerned about in building the house was to make sure that the water management during the rainy season was taken care of. So as you see here, we have a pool that's fed by a new well, but in addition, all the stone is sloped to a continuous drain that runs along this plant line. And that drain goes into an old well that works as a drain for all the water that falls on the surface during the rainy season, and therefore we never have any standing water out here on the deck. As I mentioned earlier, one of the things we paid particular attention to was the distance between the individual buildings and the adjacent property walls. So this space was designed in our office using a wind tunnel to understand the perfect movement of air through the site. We also spent a lot of time looking for a site that was running north-south because the prevailing winds come from the north, and they naturally cool off at night and ventilate the space. And here you can see also we have a little acoustical fountain that helps mitigate any ambient noise. And then in the season, right now, you can see the plants are at the winter, but during the season, the plants are fully developed. As we did in the library, I designed the closets to have a ventilated stainless steel mesh that allows air to flow through the space up through the close. And as you can see inside, we have shelving that is on rollers, and it's also ventilated. So that way you never have to worry about your clothes getting musky or mold. Okay, one of the things that we wanted to make sure of in the bedroom was that we were able to capture the cool air from the night and keep it in during the day, during the warm months, but also to be able to open up the space completely during the nice month for full ventilation. So the windows have a double system. They have a articulated solid wood panel that opens up and locks, but in addition we imported from the United States these Pella windows, which have double insulated glass. They have argon gas between the glass panes, and on the outside they're coated with the low E coating, which helps retain the cool air and reflect the warm rays of the sun from the outside. So this is my studio. It was designed originally just to be my drawing and painting studio, but it was also designed and planned to be able to be converted to a casita with a bedroom, a little living area, kitchen, and bathroom. And underneath the sink here in the floor are all the plumbing requirements for adding a bathroom and a shower. In addition, we have an overhang on the outside of 1.2 meters or about 5 feet, which allows all the windows to be open when it's raining. One of the things my wife and I really love is fresh vegetables that we can pick each day. So I designed this automatic watering planter system where we grow lettuce, tomatoes, eggplants. Here you can see we're at the end of one of our seasons of our plants, and you can see our fresh tomatoes. Right off the vine, no pesticides. This valve controls the water inlet below the soil, and it has a float valve inside which regulates the water during the seasons and enables the moisture from the underneath the plants to come directly into the soil. And if it rains in the rainy season, it has a self-regulating drain. So you never have to worry about watering your plants.